Yo, what's going on YouTube and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte and we are taking a look today at a blockbuster trade. We've been hearing about Alex Debrincat getting traded for a year now, and it seems like the Blackhawks have been fielding offers for a very long time. The price was going to be very high. He was definitely the top trade target on the open market, but he ends up going for kind of an interesting price. We're going to go over the Ottawa Senators acquiring Alex Debrincat in a trade with the Blackhawks. We're going to discuss that today. So, the Ottawa Senators obviously acquire the biggest asset in the trade. They pick up centerman Alex Debrincat. Alex Debrincat has 1 year left on his contract. He's making $6.4 million on his cap hit. He's a 24-year-old center slash winger. And he is going to demand probably $9 to $10 million per season on his next deal. This is a huge trade for the locker room and the overall appeal of the Ottawa Senators organization. The Senators have been rebuilding, right? They sent out Mark Stone. They sent out Erik Karlsson. They sent out Mike Hoffman. They sent out Craig Anderson. Everything has been turned over there in Ottawa. So they've been picking up prospects and draft picks for years and years and years. And now you look at their prospect pool, they probably have one of the better prospect pools in the league. And you ask most Senators fans, their face glows up when you look at their defensive prospects. Jacob Bernard-Docker, Lassie Thompson. Dylan Hetherington is still a guy that's probably more of a depth piece, and they did re-sign him. I did want to mention that. And then guys that are already kind of playing / kind of prospects, rookies. You have guys like Jake Sanderson, Eric Brandstrom. I don't think Victor Mete is that good. But when you look at the core guys, Sanderson, Brandstrom, don't forget they already have one of the better D in the league, Thomas Chabot. Those are three right there. Jacob Bernard-Docker, Lassie Thompson. That's 5 super solid defensemen. And there's no way they're going to keep all of them, and maybe one of them becomes a bust. Those are 5 really good players there. So that's their defense. Their forwards are pretty solid too. Tyler Boucher, former first-round pick. Ridley Gregg, former first-round pick. Victor Ledeen, a former top 3 draft pick. Parker Kelly, Cole Reinhardt, Igor Sokolov, Mark Kastalik, Robbie Yarventi. Looking at guys that are already on the roster, young guys. There's some questions about, maybe how much do they sign Debrincat for? But you have Drake Batherson, who's 24. Alex Debrincat, who's 24. Tim Stuchla, who's only 20. Alex Formenton, 22 years old. And Josh Norris. Don't forget Josh Norris. He's 23. This team has so many good prospects. They don't need draft picks. And they had the 7th overall pick. Chicago ends up taking Kevin Korchinski. That would have been a consolation prize for the Senators. They don't need that. They traded their 7th overall pick, 59th overall pick, and a 3rd round pick in 2024 in order to get this trade done. This is a great trade for the Ottawa Senators, and honestly, the only way Chicago could have got more is if it was a sign and trade. And that didn't end up being the case because, hey, listen, Pierre Dorion can go in and say, listen, this guy's a year away from unrestricted free agency. There's no guarantee we're going to re-sign him. You're not going to get the value there. And all this talk, they were all this talk. The Chicago Blackhawks are getting 2 first-round picks, a top forward prospect, and maybe another little piece here and there. I mean, the Flyers, based off of what we were hearing, they gave a better offer, supposedly, than what the Senators ended up giving. So maybe that was a little bit falsified, because it was rumored they were going to give up a first-round pick, Cam York or Joel Farabee, and like a Tyson Forster. They didn't get that here for Alex Debrincat. So maybe that was the Blackhawks trying to just pump a little smoke and just see what they could get for offers. But this is the trade we ended up getting. For the Blackhawks, again, I get it because Patrick Kane and Taves won't be there. And Debrincat said, listen, if those guys aren't going to be there, I don't really want to be a part of this. And that's where now he goes to Ottawa, where you're going to have a group of Brady Tkachuk, Alex Debrincat, Drake Batherson, Tim Stützle, and maybe Alex Formenton in your top 6. And you're probably going to get somebody in free agency. And that's the other thing I want to get to. The Ottawa Senators are a more attractive market going into free agency now, because you could sell a free agent and say, listen, you're going to play with Alex Debrincat, you're going to play with Brady Tkachuk, you're going to play with Drake Batherson, Josh Norris, Tim Stützle. You're going to play with these really high-end hockey players. Oh yeah, and look behind you. There's a ton of good depth and prospects that we could do to build this roster moving forward. And look at all our defensive prospects. You're going to have a good defense to play around you. This is going to be a very good year for the Ottawa Senators, and I'm saying it right now. And I bombarded Pierre Dorion a couple years ago for some of those moves they made, the Jean-Gabriel Pageau trade, obviously trading Stone and Hoffman and Carlson. But looking back, they kind of won in most of those trades. Mark Stone is good, but they gave him a lot of money in Vegas. They did. Erik Karlsson, one of the worst contracts in the league today, looking at it right now, and they ended up getting a really good player in Tim Stützle in return for that trade. And now you're building up. Instead of just continuing the rebuild, this is a turning of the page. The next chapter of the Ottawa Senators, this is an incredible trade for them. As the Blackhawks, it kind of sucks because you would have liked to have gotten a little more, especially considering what they got for Brandon Hagel from the Blackhawks, from the Tampa Bay Lightning. But Debrincat is now a Ottawa Senator. They are going to put a prime focus on re-signing him this summer because they do not want that to drag out moving forward. God, I hope they don't worry about that issue next year. Hopefully that doesn't last that long. But again, Ottawa Senators, absolute slam dunk. And for the Blackhawks, again, they didn't lose the trade, but they definitely didn't win the trade. We'll see what Kevin Korchinski turns into. But as of right now, the Senators got the best player by far, and that is Alex Debrincat. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Who won the trade, Alex Debrincat and the Ottawa Senators or the Chicago Blackhawks? And let me know, Senators fans, what else would you like to see the Sens do this summer? I think the Blackhawks are pretty well set on the rebuild, so I don't expect them to be super active. But for the Senators, guys, what do you think could be next for the Senators? Because this is probably a primer for what we'll see this summer. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.